John, just continuing on the Gaza question. Yesterday, the president's speech was interrupted by multiple protesters calling for a ceasefire. Now, we've seen these kind of interruptions at various events, but we're also seeing increased polling among the American public that is clamoring for a ceasefire. Is the president, is his perspective on this changing at all, given the daily mounting casualty toll? Is he starting to rethink whether it might be prudent to ask for a halt in the fighting and beyond just the pause?
I would remind that since a very early going in this conflict, we have been urging our Israeli counterparts to be careful and precise. We have talked about the civilian casualties and how we don't want to see any more. We have urged them to take different actions, and they have responded to that advice and counsel. He understands that there are strong feelings here on all sides, as you would expect. I mean, he's been doing this a long, long time. He also believes it's really important that Israel have the right and the ability to continue to defend themselves against what is clearly still a viable threat from Hamas. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop, again, urging a stronger focus by our Israeli counterparts on minimizing civilian casualties and on getting aid in. And you talked about a pause. I would also remind that from the very beginning, or nearly the very beginning, this administration under President Biden's leadership has argued and tried to push for humanitarian pauses in the fighting so that hostages could get out and aid could get in, and we are still doing that. Brett McGurk is in the region as we speak. In fact, he's in Doha today, having discussions with our Qatari counterparts about the possibilities of another hostage deal.
Can I just follow up on that? So the president has been pushing for pauses. You've been talking here from the podium about pauses. The Israelis today have again sort of rolled out a Gaza ceasefire. They've said that there were pauses for humanitarian purposes, those that have been breached by Hamas. We're hearing out of the region that there's movement towards something like a 1 month pause. Can you give us an update on that? And then, whether there's any additional language that would come as part of that about a further, like a more permanent solution.
Yeah, I don't have any additional context to provide today. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. As I said, Brett's in the region right now, and while he's having lots of conversations on lots of issues, this is certainly top of his agenda, and he's in Doha, as I said today. I don't want to get ahead of those discussions, except to repeat what I said yesterday, which is these are very sober and serious discussions we're having, and we certainly want to see another humanitarian pause put in place so that we can, again, get aid in and get people out. But how close we are to that and what the parameters of that are going to look like, how many days, and that's all part of the discussions we're having right now, and it would not be appropriate for me to try to speculate on where that's going right now.